Machine gun.
I wanted to try that new song. Never Alone by Brick. Actually, theme song to Machine Gun from. I really like this. First time I heard it, it was just very easy. So it's been a while since busy and no, it just one of those things. Monday just me. It was kind of like I had to go to the doctor. For my yeah, it just feels like one of those things. I don't know why. Just I feel like every time I see him, it's always like blood work. It's like, dude, can I just fucking take a break from getting my blood drawn out of my arm? It's just, it's one of those things. So, anyway, um, several new things happened let's see, this weekend. One of them was I went to my grandma's house to clean their house. Sunday I went to a family party, and that was pretty fun. Like getting to chat with my cousins who I haven't seen for 5 years. So like, I haven't seen them in a while. Because we all have our own lives. Most of them are married and have kids. And, that's just it's one of the things like life just sort of goes by. Like I was like me and my cousin were saying like life goes by quickly. It's kind of funny though. I got to see my one cousin who has a uh, morning show on the radio, and I didn't even realize like his show is released in like podcast episodes, and it's kind of funny though because like he jokingly says like we're competing for listeners and stuff. It's just like, dude, you do what you do for a living. I just do it for a hobby. I enjoy doing the podcast stuff, but it's just you know, there's other things I really like to do. than that. Like, um, yeah, like one thing I would love to do is, of course, write. I love writing. I love creating stories and stuff. One thing I do enjoy is studying. I am wanting to do is open a comic shop. I would love to do that. That's the one thing I would love to do is open a comic shop and stuff. Like, one of the things I would love to do. So so anyway, so anyway, that's the one thing I would love to do is like open a comic shop. And speaking of that, I got a couple of books. And so I visited another comic shop. I found some books and stuff, which is pretty cool. But anyway, we'll talk about that. Let's get to some of the geek news, which is pretty cool. Hold on. So, trying to fix my microphone. So, anyway, the microphone's kind of been acting up lately. So, trying to fix the audio to it. So, anyway, can you hear me better? I don't know. Nobody's talking. That's the bad thing about doing this speaker thing is like nobody shows up to like chat, send a message or anything. It's like so empty. Right? So anyway, one of the things that kind of surprises me is WB changed a lot of their release dates. One of them being Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 84, Godzilla versus Kong, um, Tenet, and Matrix 4, which I didn't even know they were making the Matrix 4. I didn't know that. But they are. They're making a fourth Matrix movie. Which, after the third one's like, really? Like, do we really need a third? I mean, do we really need a fourth one? Like, you know? But apparently, with the popularity of Keanu Reeves, they have to make a fourth one. So, which I'll be honest with you, like out of the Keanu Reeves movies and stuff, a lot of people really wanted Bill and Ted more than they wanted a Matrix. So anyway, Christopher Nolan's The Tenet, which will star David Washington and Robert Pattinson, has been moved from the July 17th to July 31st of 2020. This one kind of pissed me off. Like Wonder Woman 84. I actually been looking forward to seeing um no, the Wonder Woman 84, or of course they called Wonder Woman 1984. They should just call it Wonder Woman 84 just for that. Which stars Gal Gadot. It's already been delayed from June 1st to August 14th. It should have been out first of this month, but instead of looking forward to it, which it's kind of been kind of awkward because you've been seeing a lot of promotional stuff for Wonder Woman 84, the Funko Pops, the Doritos, all those things. Even the action figures, which I actually bought the Golden Armor Wonder Woman action figure from the McFarlane Toys collection. I seen it at Walmart and I thought like that's so fucking cool. It was either that or the Superman one. I was just like, I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna buy the Wonder Woman one. And it's really cool. It's really a cool action figure. It's very detailed, and like I said, like with McFarlane action figures and stuff, like you might be paying a lot of money for it, but you are getting something great out of it. You're getting something very detailed, and they've been like flying off the shelves, man. Like the Harley Quinn ones, I couldn't find them. Like I found some at GameStop, which are really cool, but at the same time, it's just like Batman stuff, which it's not bad. Like I would love to see like a Catwoman one. I would love to see Nightwing, Batgirl, Damian Wayne, Robin. Like I would love to see those, but unfortunately, they're making like they're doing some like out of like the Dark Knight's metal. I couldn't find the Arkham ones, which sucks. I really wanted to find the Arkham Batman. I wish they did the Arkham Joker, which I saw, but I really wanted the Arkham Batman. Couldn't find it. Um, I'd love to see like the Arkham City Catwoman one. Like I would love to see that be made, but unfortunately, again, they're not. I want to see that. I want to see them do like that. But anyway, Wonder Woman 84 um, has been pushed back um, from June 1st to August 14th, but now again it got delayed to October 2nd, 2020. Um, it's kind of ridiculous. They pushed the movie back twice. I I just wish they would just release it digitally like they did with Scooby Doo, but a lot of people, of course, are defending it and going like, the amount of money they put in this movie, it needs to be out in theaters. It's just like, really need to be out in theaters? Like, I would love to see the movie as much as the next person, but unfortunately, I am not going to sit in the theater wearing a mask for 2 hours in a movie. I am not going to do it. I wish they would just release it digitally. I think they would have done a lot. Um, they would make a lot of money off of it, or just release it on HBO Max. You got that fucking thing out, and you're plugging the shit out of it. But unfortunately, you're losing popularity and subscribers due to Gone with the Wind incident. You know, what happened was due to like John Ridley, who is an Oscar-winning writer and a professional shit disturber, uh, bitched and complained and talked about how Gone with the Wind is racist and it needs to go away. even though the first African American woman to win an Oscar won an Oscar for Gone with the Wind, they, HBO Max, got rid of it. And a lot of people are very aggravated, angry that HBO Max would get rid of a movie that's part of the time period of America. Now, Gone with the Wind, of course, is, a timeless classic movie. Um, and a lot of people are not subscribing, or, they're unsubscribing to their subscription to HBO Max, and HBO Max is losing a lot of subscriptions, and a lot of people are not happy with HBO Max for doing this because instead HBO Max is like, we're going to put out a trigger warning and we're going to have a roundtable discussion about this movie. It's just like, fuck off. Like, really? Just fuck off. Like, a lot of people are not stupid as I would think they would be, just to bitch and complain about Gone with the Wind being racist. But apparently they are stupid. Um, you know, I I know this is gonna be offensive to people, but when someone calls me, when a black person comes up to me like you're racist, it's just like, how am I racist if I'm defending a movie in free speech? Like, like I've been called racist before, and it's it's oddly enough like the first time I was ever called racist was not by a black person; it was by a white person. A white person called me racist, which is fucking funny because I'm white and a white person called me racist. You know, like that was the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life, that a white person called me racist. And the thing is, I cracked a joke about it, Hollywood people, like how. And the thing was, after seeing like a lot of those Hollywood people going like, um, they did that stupid fucking PSA thing where I take responsibility. And I jokingly said like the most people who are white who are shaming people for not speaking about Black Lives Matter or anything are most likely the racist people because they've probably done some racist things in the past. Like, um, I mean, seriously, like the I take responsibility thing. I did not see one person in diversity in that video. All you saw was um, um, what's his name from Breaking Bad, Stanley Tucci, Julianne Moore's old ass in the video. Um, a bunch of other people like doing that. I take responsibility. Um, which is funny as shit, but like seeing him in it, like I never seen anybody in my life, um, like do something so stupid. The thing was, they were so tone deaf about all of it, you know. Um, like I didn't post anything like Black Lives Matter. I didn't post the Blackout Tuesday thing. Is because it's kind of tone deaf, in my opinion. Like the Blackout Tuesday thing is tone deaf. I I would rather hear, and this is my opinion of it. I would rather hear somebody who lives in the city, who lives in the inner city, who lives in um, a community like in Detroit, you know, that are the home, they live around homes that are abandoned, broken down, and the city isn't doing anything. I'd rather hear from those people who live in the broken areas of the city and stuff talk about their talk about the community issues, talk about problems that are going on in their community, issues, gang activity that's happening, drug dealing that's happening. I would rather hear from them than hear from Hollywood people telling me about how white privileged I am, you know, because if you fix the small parts of the community that is broken, things will get better. I believe that if things that are happening in Detroit that's been ignored for decades upon decades, if you fix those problems in that area, things will get better. I mean, for fuck's sakes, look what happened to their water. None of that shit got fixed. Still to this day, none of it got fixed. And you have Michael Moore's fat ass, not doing a damn thing about it. I mean, like, not even donating his money to get any of those pipes fixed. None of that happened. And the thing is, Democrats run that area, and they didn't do a damn thing about it. So, I would rather hear from those people. I would rather hear from people in South St. Louis that are having issues and community problems talk about what's happening there. I think that if you hear from people who live in broken neighborhoods talk about their community problems, things that need to be fixed in their opinions, things will get better. I mean, if you care about black lives, care about black lives community, black communities, care about their issues, care about their problems, instead of burning the fucking buildings down. That's all I got to say about that. That's my thought. I think like if you fix a community, things will slowly get better. It doesn't get quick like that. It takes time. You gotta fix the small problems. Like that's my thoughts of it. I seen, I mean, hell, I lived in a broken neighborhood, and the only thing that you had to do is like move out of there. Like, so anyway, um, back to the movies. Godzilla was going to be out in November. Godzilla versus Kong, November, but pushed back to May 21st. The original release date for Matrix 4 and Matrix 4 is being pushed to April 1st. The irony, that movie's probably going to be a joke. Bill and Ted Faces the Music will be released a week earlier to August 14th. Interstellar. Warner Brothers will be re-releasing Interstellar on Tenet's original release date, July 17th. I've never seen Interstellar. One movie of Nolan's that I never got to see. Yeah. I never got to see that. The Flash movie news is happening. Um, the Flash, which would star Ezra Miller. Recently, Barbara Michenet, I think is the name, the producer of the movies such as It, was asked by a fan, "Any updates on the Flash? The world is depressing now. Can we crack a smile?" She said, "It's coming news. It's coming news very soon." The Flash movie, of course, is still happening, which is I look forward to the Flash. I know my oldest nephew is a diehard fan of the Flash comics and stuff. Like my oldest nephew is like a huge fucking fan of the Flash. Like he loves the TV show, the Flash, and it's kind of funny though. Same with my aunt. Um, my aunt who is my godmother. My aunt Linda is like a huge fan of the Flash. Like she loves the CW verse. Like she was just like it was the funniest thing ever. She goes, and she has a very southern accent. Like she has, like out of the entire family, she has like the most southern accent. She goes, I love that one show, Arrow, man. She goes like, I just love that Stephen Amell. Like that was just one of the best shows I ever. She goes, I watched it from the beginning to all the way to the end. Like it was just like, um, it was just funny though. Like she's now watching Smallville. Like she never seen Smallville. She goes, I didn't even know that show happened. Like I was like, yeah, 10 seasons. I sat through 10 seasons of that show. I grew up watching that show, and I was like, it's by far one of the best. I said it before. I'll say it again. Smallville is probably one of the best comic book shows to ever happen. Like probably the best comic book show ever. 10 seasons of that show, man. Like 10 years of it. Like that's what happened. Man. And Gotham, I think is Gotham's like right next to it. Gotham's not that far behind it. It's like right up next to it. Gotham should have been around. Gotham should have been on for 10. Which is depressing that it's only been on for uh, 5 seasons. And like it ended prematurely. Like it's one of those things. Like, and the Flash is, I think the Flash is one of those shows that I hope makes it past Arrow. Like it can't end like at the same time as Arrow. But the movie Flash is happening. Details are little known. It's rumored to be. It's known it's going to be taken to the Flashpoint TV series. Sorry, Flashpoint story. I would love to see the Flash TV show take on the Flashpoint storyline. That would be awesome. Director Andy Machete, I think I can't pronounce his last name, has teased that the movie will have a different version of the Flashpoint than you're expecting. He goes on to say, it's not going to be a horror movie like his It films. Um, I would love to see. I would love to see like some of the like one thing I would love to see is Reverse Flash. And there's like one dude in mind that I think should play the Reverse Flash, and it's Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey should play the Reverse Flash because if you ever seen movies like Lincoln Lawyer or a movie like Lincoln Lawyer or Dark Tower or a lot of his other films like he did, like, he's really a good actor, and I really think he should play the Reverse Flash. He's like one of the he's the number one pick for that role, and if in my fan casting, uh, McConaughey's the number one pick in my fan cast for like the Flash, like the Reverse Flash and stuff like Captain Cold, Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson's one of my favorite actors as well. He would be awesome as Captain Cold. In my opinion, I know a lot of people want someone younger like Captain Cold, but I would love to see Woody Harrelson play the part. Jay Garrick, the Flash, um, Tom Hanks, obviously. Tom Hanks, as as Jay Garrick, the Flash. And I said it once in like past episode, like you need to have like you know big name actors to support and elevate Ezra Miller and stuff. And I know there's a lot of people who will say Ezra Miller's a great actor. He doesn't need anyone to elevate him. He's that good of an actor. I agree, but you need like here's the thing about it. Christopher Reeve had Jackie Cooper, um, Marlon Brando, uh, you know, a lot of big name actors and actresses to play supporting roles that you know compliment him. Christian Bale was the same way. You had Morgan Freeman, you had Michael Caine, you had um, Tom Wilkinson, Cillian Murphy, um, Katie Holmes. I don't know the table, but Christian Bale was at the time when Batman Begins came out. Christian Bale was an unknown actor. No one, I mean, like he was very well known by critics, but mainstream audiences didn't know who he was, and he won them over and stuff. I, I think Christian Bale is by far one of the greatest actors that ever been around in a long time. He is that damn good of an actor. I mean, he played Dick Cheney and scared the shit out of me. You know, and he, man, he just I don't know how he did not win an Oscar for Vice. He was a good actor in it. So anyway, um, yeah, I mean, that's who I think of, and of course, Dark Knight, he and Heath Ledger, man, like that, with Robert Pattinson as Batman, you really, really need a Joker that will challenge him. You need a Joker that will challenge Robert Pattinson's Batman. That's what you need in it. That's that's why I say Matthew McConaughey should play the Reverse Flash, and Woody Harrelson should play Captain Cold, because you need actors that will challenge Ezra Miller. Heath Ledger as the Joker is like the prime example of you need to do casting villains right. Jared Leto is, I know there's one person I had a discussion with about um Jared Leto's Joker. Like someone listened to the episodes and stuff, and they were just talking about Leto and the Joker and stuff, and I I said the person was like, do you want to see, should they release the Ayer cut, because David Ayer of course keeps talking about Leto's Joker, and we all didn't get to see what we promised of a darker, edgier Joker. And I said this, if they release it, then on HBO Max or whatever, I will watch it. I will honestly sit there and see you know, what is said on his Twitter, but in my opinion, Jared Leto is not the best Joker. Plain and simple. I know there's gonna be a lot of people who are there's a lot of people who are gonna still be on the wagon of Leto, needs another chance as Joker, yada yada yada. I don't. I honestly don't. I honestly don't think Leto should come back as Joker. I will say this: his movie Morbius looks really good. I will say that it looks like a really good film, and I think Morbius, in my opinion, is the best character he should play, in my opinion. Um, that's my opinion of it. I think he should just. I don't think he should come back as Joker. If they're gonna bring Joker into the Harley Quinn films and that, they should recast. Adrian Brody, I think, should play the Joker. He, you know, should play the Joker. That's my thought of it. He could be the real Joker or something. I don't know. So anyway, so let's get to the comics and stuff. I I went to the comic shop. Um, there's two different ones in Chesterfield. There's V Stock and there's Dark Side. I went to Dark Side. Dark Side was surprisingly open. V Stock, of course, was closed due to the protests and stuff. So I went to Dark Side, and I found 4 books, which is really cool. When you find comics, it's always exciting. But I found 4 that I had 2 I had to grab. The other 2 I was surprised they had them there. I grabbed the Catwoman 80th anniversary, the Catwoman 80th anniversary 100-page super spectacular. I grabbed the Adam Hughes variant cover of Catwoman. They didn't have. I was like looking for the. I was looking for the Julie Newmar Catwoman cover of Batman '66, and they did not have it. So I saw the Adam Hughes one, and I really loved the cover. I loved the way he draws Catwoman. So I grabbed that one, and I was happy I did. Um, you know, they had it. Joker 80th anniversary 100-page super spectacular. I didn't even know it came out. Like I was just it was on like the new release shelf, and I was just like I have to buy it. Like I was in there like looking for the Catwoman one, and I found the Joker one. I, oh, by the way, and the Adam Hughes one is the 1940s Catwoman. So I found the variant 1950s variant covered by David Finch and Steve Burcho. It's a 1950s version cover. You can obviously tell because it has the old DC Comics logo, same as the um, Catwoman one. Because the DC logo for the 1940s one is a DC Comics DC production. The Joker 1950s variant cover has the Superman National Comics DC. So, um, the Joker one is the one where he is sitting on piles of money. The other 2 I couldn't believe I found. I found the Robin 80th anniversary, the Robin 80th anniversary book. I thought they were out of it. Like I thought they didn't have any of the books and all that. So, um, I found it. I was so happy I found a cover, variant cover that I am happy with. I found the Frank Miller 1980s cover, variant cover by Frank Miller and Alex Sinclair. Um, a lot of people don't like Frank Miller. I am a huge Frank Miller fan, and I was happy I found the 80th anniversary cover. Like, you know, Frank Miller is one of my favorite, you know, writers, artists, around. Um, I love Batman Year One. He, of course, wrote that, and a lot of people, of course, hate it. They hate it now. Uh, Dark Knight Returns. Same way, a lot of people are starting to hate a lot of his stuff he did, like, which I don't get. Like, you know, but I stand by Year One. Like, Year One, I will defend to the day I die. It's just one of my favorite comics. I think I read his um, script. I think it's the first draft of Batman Year One movie. And I even said like there's some parts that are good, there's some parts that are just like what the fuck. And there are some parts where I just don't get. A lot of people, of course, will, say, like, no, the comic's awful. It's just like bullshit. Like, the comic's not that bad. And people, I keep telling people this. You have to remember that book was written in a different time. And I'm waiting for people to go like fucking Gone with the Wind on that comic, like where they're just like, it needs to be gone, it needs to be erased, it needs to be taken off the shelf. I'm waiting for that shit to happen. But you have to remember, people, things that are written that you might get triggered, butthurt, or whatever, were written in a different time period. Grow the fuck up. Stop erasing shit. Stop removing statues. I mean, damn. Like, people throw such a bitch fit. Like, it is so fucking annoying and stuff. Like, grow up. Grow the fuck up. You whiny pussy. So, anyway, the Carrie Kelly is the cover of the Robin on the Batman 80th anniversary 80s comic. Carrie Kelly, I would love to see in the main continuity and stuff, but unfortunately, I think she's just one of those characters that appear, in his own story. But I never read the Dark Knight Golden Child. I never got around to reading that one. I seen it on the shelf of the Dark Side, but I don't know. I just never got around to reading it. Finally, one comic I found, and I cannot wait to buy the second issue, which is Batman: The Adventures Continue. I grabbed this comic, and let me tell you, I couldn't wait to read it when I got home. I couldn't wait to read it. I was so excited because I love Batman the animated series. I just love Batman the animated series. I just couldn't wait to read it. Um, it takes place in the same uh, timeline as Batman the animated series, the Batman New Adventures. Batman the Adventures Continues has Burnett, Dini, Templeton, um, Cuban reunite to do Batman the Adventures Continues. I just couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to read it. It is absolutely worth reading. I give it a 10 out of 10. Um, it is so cool. It looks like straight out of like the comics back in the day where they did the Batman and Robin adventures. Uh, Gotham, I think Gotham Adventures. It was just like so. It was so cool to see just how simple it is of a book. The story is amazing. It just I just can't give anything away. You have to read it yourself. As much as I would love to give away stuff like of what happens in the story and stuff, I can't give it away. You have to read it yourself. It is that damn good of a story, and some of the characters, like characters showing up, like you just couldn't believe that you know the character shows up, the character exists in that universe, and it's again, it's an amazing book. I know Kevin Conroy did a reading of it on Instagram. It's been out for a while, but I bought it. I was just like, I I felt like the younger me when I read the animated series comic, the Batman and Robin Adventures and stuff. It was just so exciting to get back into that universe and just read it. It's a fun book. I highly recommend it. Again, it's a phenomenal book. I give it a 10 out of 10. Um, but anyway, yeah. So anyway, Um, let's find other like. There's one story news article I've read. I saw it and I just thought it was the stupidest fake news article that there is. Um, like Cosmic Book News, and they really like. I think they like just doing fake news stuff like CNN and all that. AT&T is considering selling off Warner Brothers' interactive gaming division, which mirrors the reports that DC Comics could be sold off at some point. Deadline reports that AT&T is discussing its sale of Warner Brothers' interactive gaming division, a deal that could be worth around $4 billion. The article notes that it could deal the licensing content of still generative from its intellectual properties, including mammoth franchises such as Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, a Lego Movie, Mortal Kombat, and Scribblets. I don't know what that is. It said that Take-Two Interactive Software, Electronic Arts, Activision Blizzard is among the rumored companies considering the purchasing of Warner Brothers Interactive from AT&T. Why is AT&T selling its gaming division? It is said to be due to reducing debt, as just yesterday it's reported the company has reached a record debt of $190 billion. Its current standing is a whopping $164 billion debt, and that's over just 5 years. AT&T needs to pay back $59 billion in debt. In addition, AT&T is taking a beating with the coronavirus, according to Seeking Alpha website. Massive unemployment and disastrous HBO Max launch causes investors to sell stock. Here's the thing about it. I do think they're going to make a lot of money back on HBO Max. And here's the thing about it. HBO Max just launched, folks. It's still growing. It's still adding movies, still adding shows and all that. They're going to make money back on it. Do I think they're going to sell WB Interactive? No, I don't think they will. Regarding the companies, regarding comparisons to DC Comics, AT&T, which owns sites like Forbes, former DC artist Ethan Van Sciver suggests that DC Comics could be sold by AT&T or even closed down. It's been rumored that the DC Comics might close down, which would be these popular characters such as Batman licensed, rumored to Marvel. Something that sounds like what would be happening to the gaming division. Alright, this part right here I think is total bullshit. I don't think they will never sell DC Comics. I mean, for fuck's sake, did you see the massive news and reactions they got when they announced that they are doing, um, you know, Justice League, the Snyder Cut? They got a lot of big news. And a lot of people were immediately on board with this. And like I said, like once they release Justice League Snyder Cut on HBO Max, a lot of people will be subscribing, a lot of people will be watching it, a lot of people will be wanting more. And that's what they want. And that's what they're going to do. They're good luck. And they are not going to sell DC Comics. Batman is a big juggernaut of a character, and they would never license it to Marvel. And it's total bullshit, like in my opinion. And they're not going to sell Warner Brothers Interactive because if they announce a new Batman video game, a lot of people are going to buy it, and I'm one of them. I would buy the next Batman video game. So that's the thing about it. Like, that's what they're going to do and stuff. So I don't think they would ever sell DC Comics. DC Comics. I mean, they announced a ton of stuff they're doing with DC. I mean, they're doing their own DC Comics announcement thing. Like they're going to be announcing new movies, video games, stuff like that. Like here's what one person wrote. Nah, they have too many plans going on with DC. One person wrote, agree, DC isn't going anywhere. One person wrote, I'm laughing my ass off about Disney and DC. One person wrote, this is completely fake news. Wow, shame. Fake as CNN. One person wrote, does people know that people don't understand the difference between DC Comics and DC the brand? DC Comics is just like Marvel. They are flooding a lot of shelves. Here's this question. What is your favorite story from the Catwoman and Joker one? Uh, Catwoman one, the first book I read, of course, was the Batman Adventures in 10 Years. Catwoman, I really enjoyed um, Helena, the Catwoman story. That one I enjoyed a lot. Um, the 66 Catwoman story I enjoyed because I love the Batman 66 story and I really enjoyed that one. But the one that really I think honestly won me over was the Catwoman Comic Con. That one I enjoyed a lot because it was just funny to read. Uh, Selena wakes up and she's doing a autograph session with Batman, with Bruce, Joker, Riddler, and a lot of a lot of female fans dressed up as her old Catwoman costumes and stuff from her first appearance in the 30s to present day. And I love the one part which was the she runs into Catwoman from Batman Returns. Selena runs into Catwoman from Batman Returns, and she's like, "Wow, that's a tight costume. Must have been difficult to get in." And Catwoman from Batman Returns was like, "You have no idea." Like, I love that. That was like my favorite part where I was just like, oh my god, Catwoman just met Catwoman from Batman Returns. Like, I was just like, I love that part. That was just like my favorite part of it. And of course, Selena and Bruce talk about the panel where Catwoman meets Batman for the first time, and the first lines Batman says was, you know, Papa Spanks. Like that was the funniest shit I've ever seen, and that I love the Comic Con story, and I thought it was so brilliantly written, and so much fun to see. Like I think for me, like the parts I enjoyed was Catwoman, Selena seeing her different versions of herself from like the 30s to the 40s to um the 60s to the animated series one where this little teenage girl was dressed as Catwoman from the animated series going like, "Can I get a selfie with you?" and please, and it's just they do a selfie, and it's just like it was such a I think a beautiful thing where Selena sees herself like how she evolved from the 30s to the present day and what impact she made. Um, those are the ones I really that's the part of the book I really enjoyed was just how you you read the story, but also you look at the art and you see how Selena Kyle evolved as a character, how she grew as a character, and that to me was like really an amazing part of the book, in my opinion. I love the Helena story. Um, I really do. I wish they would just get to the Batman Catwoman comic, get a release date, and I really hope they announce it at the DC the DC universe thing. I really do. I hope they announce it pretty soon. Like I really want to see what happens in the book. I really want to read it. Um, I really want to know what happens in that book. And I know there's a lot of people, of course, asking Tom King about it, and Tom King, of course, is uh, doing his Adam Strange book, which I have not read. I know I said before in the past episode I was going to give it a chance and read it. I have not read it. I'll just probably buy it when it comes out on, you know, trade paperback. So, Joker one, I haven't gotten around to reading it. I was reading the Batman Adventures Continues. I did go through the Robin book. I will say that I did go through the Robin book. I love the Jason Todd one, where Jason Todd um, fixes Bruce's dad's watch. He fixes Thomas Wayne's watch, and Jason gives it to Bruce on his birthday. And that one I really loved. I thought that it was a very beautiful story. And Jason, of course, years later, I take it in the story, Jason was buried with Thomas's watch. And of course, Jason comes back from the dead. He's resurrected from the Lazarus pit. And Jason puts the watch in a small box like he did with back on Bruce's birthday. And this is years later, and Jason puts it on the Batmobile and sits and waits for Bruce to get the watch. And Bruce gets the watch, and it's on his birthday, which is um, a very beautiful story as well. I think it was very, very well written and the art was spectacular. And that was a very touching story. I thought it was a very, beautiful story. And, to me, it's an amazing story. And I, I always said this, like, I always find Jason Todd as very underrated Robin. I know a lot of people love him as Red Hood, but as Robin, he was very underrated, and you never got to see really a lot out of him. Like, I always felt like his Robin had so much potential, and it just got nowhere, and it just, just they quit on the character. Um, the Damian Wayne story was okay. Like I said, I haven't gotten around to reading a lot of it. The Jason Todd one I had to read because when I grabbed it, the person at Dark Side is like, you have to read the Jason Todd one. So I read that one and I enjoyed it. The Catwoman one I enjoyed, like I said. The animated series comic Batman, The Adventures Continues, I enjoyed thoroughly. One book I found, this was at Walmart. After a trying day at the doctor's yesterday, I went to Walmart. You know, I found a novel that I've been looking for. I heard so much about it. Let me grab it. I found a new charger cable as well. This one's pretty cool. Uh, if you heard my phone go off, it's a magnet charging thing. Like you plug the magnet thing in your phone, charging port thing to your phone, the magnet thing, and you hook up the cable and the magnet, and it'll like charge your phone. I didn't even know that. It's pretty cool. I like the blue light. It's the cable kind of looks very Batman-ish, and the cable thing's kind of annoying at times because if you move the cable, it'll unplug and come back in, your phone charge up again, which is kind of annoying. Um, I found this novel, The Office, The Untold Story of the Greatest Sitcom of the 2000s by Andy Green. Um, this book is basically interviews with people involved with The Office from even stories behind the scenes of season one, and stuff. It covers like the entire seasons of The Office, from season one to season seven, eight, nine, and the finale of The Office, and a possible reboot. Um, I found the book and I was like, I have to read it because I love The Office. The Office is one of my favorite shows. I have like so many favorite shows: King of the Hill, um, Gotham, Smallville, The Flash, um, Dark Side of the Ring, Comic Book Men, which they in that show, and kind of about that one. Um, The Office, and I enjoy like Harley Quinn. I enjoy Titans, Young Justice, which I'm waiting for Young Justice. I'm pretty sure we'll see the show in 4 years from now. Um, like I jokingly said like by the time they do the next season next season of Young Justice, I'll probably be dead by then. It's just um, you know I I enjoy those shows. Gargoyles, which is like for those who probably never heard of it, it's animated shows. Batman the animated series, of course, the greatest animated show that ever existed. Um, but those are the shows I enjoy. Like I enjoy those. It's kind of funny though. I've been watching King of the Hill a lot. I've been watching a lot of King of the Hill episodes and stuff. And Dark Side of the Ring, I of course watched. I watched the new Jack one again, and I tell you this, like, that one was pretty scary to sit through. I like New Jack one was pretty crazy, and I watched the matches of he did. I was talking about wrestling with somebody, and they're like, "You have to watch the one where those New Jack matches." He goes, "Watch the one that happened in I think Florida or something." And I watched it, and I was like, "Did he just stab that guy?" like, I literally sat there and I watched the match, and I was like, "Is he's stabbing that guy?" Like I'm like, and like all of a sudden, like, holy shit, this dude is stabbing him, and I never in my life watched matches like that where I was just like, am I witnessing a crime, homicide or something? Like, holy shit! Like, I just never in my life just like and the documentary episode they did of New Jack was so fascinating. Like the thing about it is like I watched his Smoky Mountain Wrestling time, uh, and the thing about it was he was really good on the microphone, and like I know I talk about wrestling. And I'm sure there's a lot of people like I don't watch wrestling. Wrestling's stupid. But I love watching old wrestling stuff. I grew up like here's the thing about it. Like I grew up watching WCW Nitro, and Sting was like one of my favorites, and I dressed up like him for Halloween. That's how much I was a fan of Sting, and um, in I never watched Smoky Mountain Wrestling. I know who Jim Cornette is because I'll tell you this: like once you see or hear Jim Cornette, you will never forget the man. Like Jim Cornette is like one of my favorite people, even though we have different religious views and political views. He's one of my favorites, and um, I love hearing his thoughts and opinions and his stories of wrestling and stuff. And he's very funny to listen to, and he talks about a lot of stuff. And he booked Smoky Mountain Wrestling. He was the guy behind the curtain of Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and New Jack was very good on the microphone. I wouldn't say very good. He was phenomenal on the microphone. Like he will make people hate you. He can make people like you. He. I never seen a guy he just got under people's skin. That's what he did, and he was fucking good at it. And I love his attitude. Like I don't give a shit if you like me or not type of attitude. And that's what he did. Like he was just that good on the microphone and stuff. And it's sad that a lot of things he did in the ring and jumping off high balconies and uh, all that just overshadowed his at times his microphone skills and stuff. And that was the thing that's kind of sad about it. It's just like he was really good on the mic. Like he was good on cutting promos, you know which he's still good at. He's good at it. It's just it was sad that like in his prime, like it just like everything he did, like all the crazy antics and all that kind of overshadowed it. And like I mean that's my opinion of it. Like I know there's a lot of people who are like I watched ECW, he was that damn fucking good. Like yeah, it's just I liked what he did in Smoky Mountain. I like how him and Mustafa against the Rock and Roll Express. Like that was fucking good, you know, matches and stuff. And yeah. Um, one thing I talked about Dark Side of the Ring. One episode I would love to see, and this story is true. I thought the Herb Abrams UWF one was crazy. This one takes the cake. Um, XPW, which for those who don't know what that is, I didn't even know what it was before I found out about it. And when I heard the story, I was just like, I wish I didn't find out about it. XPW is a company that was trying to compete against ECW and trying to compete against ECW, which had financial issues, contract issues. I mean, Paul Heyman wrote a contract on a napkin. Um, um, it never paid people. Like anytime you sent a check, they bounce. Um, was trying to compete against ECW. Trying to compete against ECW is like getting your ass kicked by a person with no legs, or losing a kickboxing match against a person with no legs. Um, that makes no sense. Um, so XPW was trying to compete against it. XPW was founded by a guy who made a lot of money off of the, let's just say, adult entertainment industry. He was trying to compete against Paul Heyman in ECW, and this guy did a lot of shady things. And his wife and a lot of, I take it, their friends were in the adult entertainment business, and they were performers, and they were involved in the wrestling matches. They were like managers and stuff like that, whatever. And a lot of things happened. Like, a lot of shady things happened, and a lot of crazy things happened. Like one of their most popular superstars, I use the term superstars loosely. I don't understand like why wrestlers call themselves superstars. It's kind of dumb. I'd be honest with you, a lot of mainstream people probably don't even know who half of you are, but one of their popular stars was a guy who called himself the Messiah. I don't know who he is. Never watched any of his matches, but he got involved with the promoter's wife, um, and the promoter tried to kill him by sending two people after him to kill him. He ended up getting his thumb chopped off. And hearing that story, I was just like, shit, this story would be great for Dark Side of the Ring. And the the story of it was just so insane. Like when I heard it, I was just like, it's great, but it's a great story. Like when I heard it, I didn't know how to react to it. Like it was just, but if you ever want to hear about it, you have to hear New Jack talk about it. New Jack is unfiltered. New Jack of course worked for XPW. He worked for ECW as well. Um, but hearing him talk about it is just like awesome. Like I'm stunned that nobody ever approached New Jack about doing a podcast where he would just talk about his time in the wrestling business, everything that happened. It would be really cool, but also I think a lot of people would be fearful of it because there'd be a lot of lawsuits because he will say what's ever on his mind, and I just kind of wish I kind of wish New Jack would do a podcast. That would be really cool. Like, I would listen to him tell stories. Same goes with Jim Cornette. I think that's what I liked about like hearing stories about that. Like, you know, but the Herb Abrams one is like my favorite. The episode, I know it's kind of sad though, but it's just like the episode's my favorite because I never in my life seen a person who is wealthy start a wrestling promotion, then get involved with cocaine and hookers. I never in my life ever, ever seen it. But I love the ending episode where the guy who's friends with him, well, Herb died, doing two things he loved, cocaine and prostitutes. It's just like I just sat there and was just like, this shit is funny. But I was like laughing my ass off hearing it. Like, but um, but Herb Abrams, like, I will say this, like, the story is so fascinating. I'm stunned that they never did a movie of it. Like, I honest to God think they could do a movie or a TV show based on it. It'd be an awesome movie. Like, TV show, I would watch it. Like, but anyway, yeah. Like, what do I think of? Hold on. What do you think of Wonder Woman 84 being pushed back again? Um, I talked about it earlier in the episode. I'm disappointed that they pushed Wonder Woman 84 back. I I honestly like I kind of want to see the movie. I really do, but again, they're pushing it back in October where flu season's happening, which is kind of fucked up a bit. I mean, everybody's been freaking out about the COVID and Corona, um, which is kind of funny though. My cousin, it's kind of funny that my cousin, I was at a family party Sunday. It was a birthday party for my cousin's daughter, and um, my cousin. It's kind of funny that my cousin showed up. He's like, "I brought Corona," and he had 6 pack of Corona. Um, I Yeah, I of course I don't drink. I don't drink or smoke or do drugs or whatever. There was no drugs there. There was smoking and drinking, and I didn't do either one. I don't like smoking. I don't like drinking. I am a straight edge person, and as they would put it, kind of a square. And that's the thing about it. Like I don't like drinking. I don't like any of that. It's just kind of my opinion of it. If you drink, that's fine. Like I said, like you are you and I am me. So, um, but it was funny though. Like, but what he said, like I brought Corona. But anyway, um, yeah, it was just like I it was kind of like I said, like I was I've been looking forward to seeing the Wonder Woman 84 film. Scooby Doo, of course, came out. I was like, that's the movie of the year I've been wanting to see. And Scoob is a really good movie. I highly, highly recommend it. But Wonder Woman 84, I want to see it. Just I don't know why. I just kind of it's one of those films like you're tired of seeing like other films. Like you kind of want to see you know different films and stuff. Like Wonder Woman 84, Black Widow, which I don't even know what the fuck happened to that movie. That movie just like disappeared under the radar. Um, you know, I gotta look that up. Whatever happened to Black Widow? That movie just kind of um, that movie disappeared under the radar. Just like that movie just went like MIA quickly. Oh, it's coming out November 6th, 2020. So, um, that's the thing about it. Like I said, it's coming out at a bad time. It's coming out like both films are coming out in October, November, which is like flu season. And I will say this, I will I will be honest with you. Like I will not see either movie in theaters. You know, um, I said this before. Like I am not going to wear a mask to sit through a 2 hour movie. I ain't doing it. It's kind of the same way with Six Flags and stuff in the zoo. I am not going to walk around in 100-degree humid weather wearing a mask and shit. Like I ain't doing it. That's my opinion of it. Like I can barely tolerate wearing a mask in a bookstore and Trader Joe's and all that. But sitting in a theater for 2 hours wearing a mask, it ain't worth it. It ain't really worth it. Like I honestly think like they should just either if they want to make money for HBO Max and they want to make money off of Wonder Woman, release the movie on HBO Max, then release the movie digitally. You will make money off of both products. Or just release the movie digitally, then a month or two later release it on HBO Max or so. You'll make money off of it. You honestly will make money off of it. You will make a lot of money early. Then you can release the movie in theaters or something, or DVD. You know, that's what you could do. You know, that's the problem with you know that. But they want to do it in theaters. They were like, we want to really, Patty Jenkins wants to release the movie in theaters, give it this theatrical, which there's nothing wrong with it. But it's just like, just release the movie on digital and, HBO Max. You will make money off of it. You honestly will. I mean, that's my thought of it. Like, you know, so, um, but I mean, it's kind of odd though to see like Wonder Woman 84 stuff in stores, and it's like the movie's not gonna be out till like October. It's like June, and it's very awkward. Um, like I bought like two. I have two mystery box Wonder Woman 84 stuff. It's like little minifigures mystery box. I got like two Wonder Womans and two Wonder Woman figurines, and I it's kind of funny though. I have those, and they're, they're cool. But I bought the Golden Armor Wonder Woman, uh, not statue, but action figure, the McFarlane toy, and I thought it was so cool looking, like the action figure. Like that is so cool. Like I'd never seen it before, and I I bought it, and it's really cool. Like the the detail of it is it's really cool. Like and like I said, like McFarlane toys are really they cost $20, but they're really into detail. And I still want a Catwoman one. I still want the Arkham City Catwoman one. That's like my favorite. Out of the Arkham video games, like I love that version of Catwoman. I love the version Arkham Knight, but Catwoman one, Arkham City is really cool. But I would love to see that one. I would love to see McFarlane toys released. Like the Batman the animated series figures, like the Keaton Batman, the like out of the ones that they never released of Batman in the Burton Batman films is the Batman Returns one. They never released that one. I love the Batman Returns bat suit. Like that is like my favorite bat suit out of all the bat suits in live action. Like I love that one because it's so like if you ever look at it, like everything about it is so cool. It's like if you ever watch like, and this is how a much of a Batman Burton nerd I am. If you ever watched that one, and you ever watched like Batman Returns, like how everything to it is like so different. Like how it's so sleek. It's very like very sleek looking. If you like it, it works in the shadow, the light. It's just like everything about it is amazing to it, and the everything about like I love the bat suit, and I wish they would like do a lot with like I wish a lot of I wish people would talk about that bat suit, but they always go from like the 89 Batman to like bat nipples. It's like you skipped a good one. You skipped a good bat suit. It's like I love the Batman Returns, like, and I wish they would do like I wish they would release the action figures. I wish McFarlane toys could do it because the last ones they did, like they're cool looking, but it's just like with McFarlane toys they could be so detailed. Like they would just go so into detail of it. It would be so awesome. And you know, that'd be so awesome. Like, you get to see like Michael Keaton's Batman and Batman Returns. You get Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. Like, take my fucking money, man. Like, I would pay to see those figures. I would buy them. I would love to. I would love to see those. Like, those would be so cool. Like, like I mean, like if there's ever a comic book series that they should do for DC is Batman Returns. Like, pick up after like that one. Um, like you know, Batman continues or something. Like that would be really awesome. But they, you know, it was kind of funny though because I think they were going to like someone pitched the idea of doing it after the success of Batman 66 and DC I think said no. Um, which sucks. Like it really does. Like like if I would have done it, it would be sort of like tied into like Birds of Prey TV series where you'd have um, you would have you know Batman and Selina be older, and I mean, like I mean not old, like they're like retired, but they're still fighting crime and all that. And, like I would love to see that. I think for me like with with Batman and Catwoman and seeing the story of Helena and all that. I just have so much joy and excitement to see them finally um, evolve. Like I I would love to see the characters evolve you know and stuff like you know have a family and stuff. Like I would love to see that. I would love to see that. And I was watching Birds of Prey uh, yesterday after I got back from the doctor and watching some of the scenes with Alfred and Helena talk and stuff like there's a big part of me just going like, man, like like there's a big part of me going like, man, that would be so cool. Like if they kept Alfred around in the comics, like which they should have. Like I think they should have kept Alfred around. Like, and there was one part in the comic, um, in Helena that kind of irked me a bit. Like, I will say this is where they have Bruce like buried next to his parents and stuff. Like, they don't even mention Alfred. It kind of irked me a bit. Like, I kind of always imagined Bruce being buried next to Alfred. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of like it kind of like I don't know why. I just kind of always thought like that's how it would be. Um, because Alfred was such a big part of Bruce's life. I always thought like it would be. Like, he was the father figure. He was the father that. But I don't know. It just kind of always kind of irked me a bit. Like I always thought like I don't know. Um, but anyway, I don't know. That was just kind of like one part of the comic where I just like. But when I watched the Birds of Prey, TV show, I like the parts where Alfred is in it. Like Alfred's talking to Helena, he's talking to Barbara, he's talking to Black Canary's daughter, which I always thought like they should have changed. Like I talked about it once in a very past episode where I said like they should have changed it where Canary's the older hero and Helena's like the rookie hero, and stuff. They of course did. It would have been really cool if it was that way, and it would have created a lot of, in my opinion, a lot of dynamic scenes with Alfred and a young Helena Kyle Wayne. Um, it would have created a lot of cool moments in the show. It would have created moments in the show where Alfred sort of reminisces about, dealing with a young Helena is like dealing with a, young Bruce Wayne, except Helena has a bit of that rebellious, you know, attitude that is Selena Kyle. And it would have been really like it would have been really cool, just to see that a bit of that, part in the show. It would have been really cool to see like you see glimpses of Bruce and you see glimpses of Selena and Helena. Like you see a moment, you're like, oh, that is a Bruce Wayne moment, or that is Selena Kyle moment. Like it would have been really cool. See that mixture hybrid of like they are like she is her mother and father's daughter. Like it would have been really cool. Um, like I mean, like the thing about you know um, the Birds of Prey show. Like the cool thing about that show was Helena had they took, of course, obviously they took a big chunk of Batman Returns as inspiration, where Selina's metahuman, like she has that metahuman powers, and of course Helena has that metahuman powers and stuff like and which was really cool. Like I thought it was really cool. But one thing I wish they would have shown in the TV show was the Batcave. Like Alfred, of course, names dropped, Wayne Manor, and Helena's like, I don't want to live there. I kind of wish they would have had that moment in the show where she goes to Wayne Manor and she goes to the Batcave and she looks around and she sees the bat suit. That would have been so cool. Like that was like one show. That was like one part of the show. I was like, oh, please show the Batcave. Please not let it be that wretched, ugly-looking one from Batman and Robin. Like, give me the Batman Returns cave, where you literally had to walk across one part of the cave to the other part. Like literally, it's like funny though, because it's like, have you ever watched Batman Returns? Like Bruce is like on one side of the cave, and he's like fixing the Batmobile, and Alfred's on one side of the cave, and all Alfred has to do is like take one giant step over. Like that would have been a really awesome moment. Like I remember watching it, I always thought like Bruce is like working on the Batmobile, and he's like, Alfred can't come over here. There's a weight limit. If you step over here, we all go. like, I love that part. Like that part always cracked me up. Like, but he's over on the other side, and he's like fixing the Batmobile, and I take it there's like a weight limit for. And Alfred's probably like, "What do you mean?" And Bruce points at the sign. Holds the weight limit of a Batmobile and a man. If you add a British butler to it, everyone goes. like, I always imagine that, And one thing I like to know is like, how the hell did he get the Batmobile on that cave part? Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of been my question. I don't know, I like the Bat Cave, but one part of the cave I did not. One Bat Cave I honestly did not like was the Batman Forever and Batman and Robin one. Like I just hated that Bat Cave. Like, I don't know why. It just made no like Bat Cave made no sense at all when I look at it and when I watched the movies and stuff. Like it made no sense. None of them made any sense. Like where the hell did he get um the parts that make the Batmobile come out from the ground and go in? Like how did he even get that in there? Like, and who put it in? Or especially the Batmobile in Batman and Robin. Like it's a convertible Batmobile with one seat and has a disco ball light thing in the front of the Batmobile. It made no sense. Like none of them made any sense. Like I mean, I could give Batman the Batmobile from Batman Forever a pass, but when you go from like the Batmobile and the Burton Batmobile, which was like one of the best looking Batmobiles ever, besides the '66 one, 66 one you give a pass because like you can't get shot at by anybody, you know. But when you look at like the Batmobile and the '89 Batman, which is like the greatest looking Batmobile ever, which is like, in my opinion, the best one ever. I'm sorry, like I love the fucking Batmobile. I don't care what people say. I know a lot of people say like the Tumbler or the Batmobile from the Snyder version or the upcoming Batmobile, which I will admit, like the upcoming one and the Pattinson one is like one sleek looking fucking Batmobile. Like that is one cool ass looking Batmobile. Like I will admit, like that is cool. It's like a hybrid. I honestly think it's a hybrid of like the Burton and the '66 Batmobile. Like it's a hybrid. Like if the Burton Batmobile and the '66 Batmobile had a baby, this would be it. Um, but you know, the Burton Batmobile was just like so amazing. I just I just love it. But the the Forever one is cool looking, but the Batman and Robin one was just atrocious looking. I never seen a Batmobile that is so ugly looking. And there's no roof on it. It's just like a one seat convertible car. It's like who would drive it? Like the Tumblr one was pretty cool. I'll admit, like it was so cool looking, and I love how they like showed how they built it. Like I love watching that part of the. I think they did a documentary of it, like how they built it and stuff, the making of the Batmobile, the Tumbler. Um, watching them build it and stuff. Like I love the miniature like remote control car they did because like um I think Batman Begins was like the last Batman movie to ever do miniatures, and it was so cool to see the. I think it was miniatures for the scene where Gordon shoots the bridge, the not the bridge, but um the subway station thing, and he shoots it to like knock it down so the Ra's al Ghul doesn't reach Wayne Tower, the water tower thing, where or something, if I remember correctly. And I think those were like the miniature thing. Yeah, it's definitely the miniatures because the subway thing. Um, and of course, Batman says, you know, saying, but I'm not gonna save you. I think that was kind of how it was, but it was, I think, a really cool miniature thing. If you ever watch like the '89 one, you obviously tell like that plane one was that, when it crashes, it's definitely a miniature. You can definitely obviously tell. Um, it's one of those films like you know, the '89 Batman hasn't the movie hasn't aged very well, but it's still a classic in my opinion. Still, a classic Batman movie. So anyway, mm, get into the comic book. Zack Snyder reveals which Robin in the DCEU the Joker killed. WWE development talent tests positive for COVID-19. DC announces a fandom virtual convention uniting DCEU, the Arrowverse, and more. We'll read that one. I'll open that one up. Read that one. Death Note. I fucking sat through that show. Death Note. Like I sat through that. I did not. I did not understand what was going on in that show. Denny O'Neil, of course, sadly passed away. Um, which is pretty sad to hear that Denny O'Neil passed away. He was a big part of the Batman. Him and Neil Adams were a big part of it. Denny O'Neil, of course, if it wasn't for him, there wouldn't have been, um, Frank Miller Batman, in my opinion. So let's see which Robin was killed. Easter egg in the Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice implied that Robin was already dead. In the DC Extended Universe, thanks to director Zack Snyder, we know which Robin met his maker. Answering fans' questions of Bureau, Snyder confirmed that Dick Grayson died prior to the events of Dawn of Justice, and that his suit that hangs in the Batcave. This clears up earlier comments of the Suicide Squad, where director David Ayer, who gave the impression that Jason Todd was dead, but it was in fact Dick Grayson. Fan asked, "Did you mean that? Do you mean to say that Jason Todd?" When asked, Robin is dead. David Ayer said Jason was dead in Suicide Squad. Snyder replied 4 hours, replied an hour later to the person's question, where he said, "No, Dick Grayson." And the person asked, "Do you have plans to dive deeper into the background of Dick's death in the future movies, maybe JL, Justice League?" Snyder said, "A hint in Justice League." Snyder also revealed that he had plans, of course, to hint at Dick Grayson's death in Justice League. It remains unclear if he's referring to Justice League, which will be released by Warner Brothers, or his canceled Justice League Part 2. Oh shit, dude. Killed. So, DC announces fandom for virtual convention uniting DCEU, Arrowverse, and more. Warner Brothers revealed it will be hosting a free 24-hour virtual fan convention called DC Fandom, in which feature announcements for the worlds of DC Comics, the DC Extended Universe, Arrowverse, DC Universe, WB Games, and much more. This is taking place August 22nd, 10 a.m. DC Fandom will give fans the opportunity to hear from the cast and creators behind fan favorite movies, television, including Aquaman, The Batman, Batwoman, Black Adam, Black Lightning, DC Superhero Girls, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, DC Stargirl, Doom Patrol, Flash, Harley Quinn, the Snyder Cut of Justice League, Lucifer, Pennyworth, Shazam, The Suicide Squad, Supergirl, Superman and Lois, Teen Titans Go, Titans, Watchmen, Young Justice Outsiders, and Wonder Woman 84. So, I cannot wait to see what happens in the DC fandom thing. So it'll be available August 22nd. So there'll be other things such as DC Watch versus. Here's where you grab your seat, sit back, and enjoy the virtual audience becoming completely engrossed by the must-see content of DC films, television, and home entertainment, and video games. DCU versus venture into the world where the fans and the stars to see them, such as cosplay, fan art, and many others, including your own artwork, cosplay, and user-generated content. So if you're into cosplay, you have fan art from around, you could share it on the DC Uverse. DC Kidsverse will be, of course, entertaining kids, family-friendly content and other activities. DC Insiderverse, which will be, of course, the comics. I take it the where you have Jim Lee and DC President, DC film-based production president Walter Hamada, creator of the DC Arrowverse Greg Berlanti, and they'll be talking about uh, upcoming video games, TV, movies, theme parks, consumer products, and more, which is going to be really cool to see what happens. So, Suicide Squad director clarifies the debate of the Joker Harley Quinn plot point. Released in 2016, David Ayer's Suicide Squad gave viewers a look at the volatile nature relationship between Harley Quinn and the Joker. In fact, one of the scenes really featured the Joker rescuing Harley from which Harley Quinn was originally intended to be much darker. A Twitter user asked Ayer about the scene, which saw Joker and Harley flying away from a gun battle via a helicopter. A while back, it was rumored that Joker was intended to push Harley out of the chopper to kill her. And a truth to that, David Ayer. Ayer replied, he pushed her. Peace. Fine. Cool. Okay, I don't understand that, but um, I can't believe he just simply replied to that, like just like he pushed her. Uh, that's like a what are people like? I honestly don't like people send like messages and it's like one of those like you have to like decipher and decode like your Indiana Jones. Um, yeah, it's just I don't understand. So anyway, we're wrapping up the podcast episode. It so anyway, it's been really fun to do an episode. I It's been kind of like a crazy couple 3 days. Um you know tired. I'm tired still. It was a great episode. Thank you. I I'm tired. Like I would say this like it's been a very busy couple. It's been a busy weekend. Monday, 4 day weekend. To be honest, it's been kind of busy and crazy and hectic. And um, I joke I jokingly said to everybody like I'm staying home. I'm not going anywhere. If you have a party or something, like I am staying fucking home. I am not like I was just like I jokingly said like I got books to read to do. But anyway, yeah, I got the comics. I highly recommend Catwoman, the 80th anniversary. Um, I can't believe Catwoman's 80, man. Like, um, I highly recommend it. They got so many stories in there. I know they did like one that sort of ties into the Batman Year of One. I did not enjoy it. I didn't like the story at all. I thought it was kind of um badly written in my opinion. So I know a lot of people are gonna be like, you love Year One, you probably like that story. It's like I read that story and I particularly didn't care for it at all, in my opinion. I wish they would have given um somebody else to write it. I would have loved seeing um Joelle Jones write a story instead. I wish she would have. I wish she was a big part of it. Like I Joelle Jones should have had a huge part of the story. One of the story, she should have wrote the story, in my opinion. I honestly think she should have, you know, I love the artwork that they did with Helena and all that, but I wish she would have done the artwork. Because Joelle Jones gave Selena Kyle, so much to the character and stuff. Like, you look at her artwork, you can see the emotions, you feel it when you read it, you feel it when you see the artwork, and Jones really gave a woman this, intimate feeling of like vulnerability, uh, happiness, joy, and stuff. Like you, you definitely see like in the writing and the artwork that she really loved Selena Kyle, and she did such a beautiful job with the character, the way she drew her and stuff. Like I wish she had. I wish that they would have given her like a big part to do in the comic. In the 80th anniversary, I felt like she deserved it. Like, and that's my opinion of it. Like, I love Jones's run on Catwoman. I thought she, like when she left to do, I forget, like when she left to do the comic, I was just like, I ain't interested in reading what happens next. um, Even though Sean Murphy's involved in it, as much as I'm a fan of Sean Murphy, I don't really care what he's doing with Catwoman. In my opinion, um, but Jones's run on Catwoman is so epic. Like I said, when you look at her artwork of Catwoman, you feel the emotions that Selena Kyle feels. You feel the vulnerability, the sadness, the joy, every emotion, every human emotion in Catwoman. Even, a lot of people, one person said to me, like, well, with comic book characters, you don't feel the emotions of the characters. It's like, when you're a fan of that character, you do feel their emotions. You do feel their vulnerability because you relate to the character in so many ways. You relate to the character because the character is a big part of your life and lifestyle. Like, you understand that character and stuff. And that's the thing that I feel sad for those people who just don't get it. Like, you know, when, someone's a fan of Catwoman, you know, or a fan of Batman, you relate to those characters. You want to see them happy. You want to see them have another layer. You want to see them evolve. You want to see them become something you imagine them being. For me, I want to see Selena Kyle and Batman and Bruce Wayne get married, have a baby, evolve, have another layer to their character. It's kind of that way with Superman. Like when you seen the fans of Superman get angry the way Bendis pushed Superman back 80 years almost, you saw how they got mad about it because they got what they wanted. They wanted Superman to get married to Lois. They want to see them have a kid, which they did. And you want to see them just be the family, have the family dynamic, and you know Lois and Clark teach John how to be, in this world. And you want to see Clark be the father to teach John how to be part Kryptonian but be human. That's what they wanted. And Bendis took all that away, and you saw how they reacted to it. They didn't like it. They hated it. They don't like Bendis's run on Superman, and that's why Bendis is obviously going out the door of Superman because a lot of people are fucking fed up and done. And look what happened to Superman. Like, their sales for Superman, I think, dropped a lot. And that's what a lot of fans are kind of upset with the current Batman run, is that a lot of them wanted the see Tom King finish his story out. And fortunately, Tom King, had I honest to God think Tom King was fired from his run on Batman, and you really didn't see him talk much about it. And I mean, of course, he's under contract with DC. He's a contracted, writer for them. But um, I honestly think Tom King, in my opinion, should have just finished his run on Batman. I think, uh, I don't like what's going on with the current Batman comics. Like I said, like I don't buy the current run. I've been reading Detective Comics a lot, um, but you know, looking at the Batman run and I mean, looking at Tom King's full run of Batman and looking at the current run of Batman, it's just like, I'd rather see the Tom King finish out his story, in my opinion. Um, I do look. That's why I look forward to seeing Batman Catwoman. And I enjoy, like I said, I enjoyed the Helena story. Uh, it's kind of funny though. Like when I look at it, when I read it and I took like a big step back from it, um, it's very funny though. Like when I read it, like Selena stole Bruce's heart and Helena stole Selena's heart. It was just kind of like when I look at it, I was just like, that's beautiful. Like like what Selena Bruce created stole Selena's heart. And I love how Selena calls Helena kitten. Like I saw that, I was just like, that is so beautiful. I like I said, I enjoyed the Catwoman 80th anniversary run. Joker, I haven't read yet. Um, I do look forward to. I did see like part of the pages where they had like punchline and just looks so dumb. But um, the two books I read so far, Batman: The Adventures Continues, Catwoman 80th anniversary. I love both runs. I do highly recommend both of them. They're both books, and um, Robin, the 80th anniversary of Robin. I enjoyed the Jason Todd story. Um, it's a very, 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 very good story. So anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be, of course, talking about random things. I can't wait to see what happens August 22nd, the DC fandom thing. I can't wait to see what they announce on comics, movies, everything to it. So, anyway, I'll be back tomorrow, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day today, and I'll see you all tomorrow.